We're here because of this monstrosity.
Hello, and welcome to my living room.
It's a new year, new you. We're going to do a purge. It's going to be a savage purge. It's not for the faint-hearted. We're going to get rid of some stuff. It's not going in the trash, not all of it. We're going to repurpose some, rehome some stuff that is not sparking joy, that's kind of a pain in the ass, not worth the money. But without further ado, let's get started. Let's clear our heads and our spaces, because I am definitely a plant maximalist, but some of this stuff has just gotten a little nuts, and some of it I just don't like anymore. So here we go. Let's start out with a bang. This is by far the saddest plant I bought off the internet this year. This was from an Etsy seller, and on the picture it was supposed to be a big gloriosum, because I love a gloriosum. This one, I don't have the headspace to rehab this. It's unsightly. When it came and it looked shabby, I was like, okay, I'll repot it, I'll prop it up. First of all, it had like a ton of fungus gnats in it, which I didn't realize until later, which was super annoying. I stupidly gave the seller in Florida a 3 out of 5 star rating. It really should have been a 1 star. I love ordering plants online, and this was awful. So anyway, because of the fungus gnat infestation, like, as you know, a Philodendron gloriosum will normally grow in a trash can, and I have gotten many from online sellers, big box stores even. None of them were this much of a disaster. So this is not worth it. There's a ton of beautiful plants here, and this looks very ugly. So it's good. This is going in the trash. It's going right in the trash. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but some of you have done that. You would do the same. We're done here. I'm not even going to be saving the substrate, which I added my own, and there's a lot of it, so it feels like a waste, but I don't like what's happening here. Okay, that felt really good. You know you've done the right thing when you don't feel one bit of remorse, and the area that this came from looks better and more tidy. Let's head over there, because our next plant is over there as well. Okay, welcome to the part of the living room where strange-looking philodendron and alocasia go that kind of look the same but are also kind of different. So let's have a look. So this is where the long, narrow skinnies live. And some of my favorite alocasia, like this longiloba that I'm growing in this tiny little vessel of full hydroponics. This watsoniana, which is quickly becoming my new fave. And this is in this mix of pawn and perlite. But this guy, I am not even confident what kind of corm this is. I have forgotten to water it many a time. It's in fluval stratum, which I love as a growing medium for corms, but this is just taking up space. It doesn't look good. It's gotta go. Bin it goes. And then there were 6. This philodendron Florida green, I loved for a really long time. And I gave it one heck of a haircut recently because it was just getting absolutely outrageous looking. So wild. Growing up the window, so I chopped it back. And I still like this plant. Like, it has really fun shaped leaves. It's very, very low maintenance, very no fuss. The leaf size is huge. In hindsight, and you're going to hear this a lot, I really wish I would have put it on an actual moss pole. I feel like I would have gotten a lot more controlled situation here, as I've seen with many of my other moss poles. But this is the situation we have here. So I'm actually going to rehome this one to the guest room. I would rather look at a Florida Beauty or something more exciting than this. This is just kind of not doing it for me anymore. A long time ago, I put this Ataba poense on a moss pole, and I made a whole video about it, and it's super easy. And this isn't even the expensive, nice, like Rousseau plant care moss pole. It's one from Amazon. But look at this. Look at this leaf it's put out recently. And trust me when I tell you, the next one is going to be just as massive. So this is going to be quite a showstopper. It's going to continue to be a showstopper. It's growing into the pole so nicely. Sydney Plant Guy would be so proud of me. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to put the Florida green into the guest room, and I'm going to put this into this cool UFO planter because, frankly, I like it better and I want to look at it more. Sad but true. Just so you know, I'm not completely a monster. I'm going to give this guy a nice bath, a nice send-off, if you will. Stupid automatic toilet seat. So I've got a pair of scissors here. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything crazy with this one. But this is my Anthurium Dock Block Michelle that I got from Home Depot. It's still in that dismal peat moss. I'm going to repot it. But here's what. This is a gorgeous plant. This is the emergent that came with the plant. And this does not look good at all. So it's got to go. It's just really detracting from the overall look of the plant. And now that looks better. Almost did this one also, but it's fine. So now I'm going to give this one a little zhuzh. I don't think it needs this anymore to keep it together. So I'm going to make this look a little bit nicer. Yeah. Happier with this already. Okay, let's head into the bedroom because there's a guy here that's gonna get purged. These guys in the corner are marked safe, but you, sadly, my friend, you gotta go. The nearly indestructible Philodendron Joepii. This plant has done absolutely nothing wrong. It's been a joy. It's living near the vent, honestly, where the heat blows on it occasionally. It keeps producing new leaves like nobody's business. And I wish I would have put it on a moss pole because it would be even greater and less maintenance. I have just this little clear plastic stake. Since it's a philodendron, it's absolutely a climber. The next owner could absolutely put it on a moss pole, and I mean, why not? They could chop, propagate. There's literally 1 million things you can do with this fabulous Joepii. It's absolutely beautiful. I just don't need 2 of them. The plan for this guy is to gift it to my sister. I texted her, do you want this Joepii? Do you have one? And she said, I want it. It's beautiful. So she is a avid plant collector also. So I know she's going to give it a good home. But then it's going to clear up this area over here so it looks a little bit neater. This thing could literally take over the house. The other one I have is huge. And I even moved it further back from the main window so it gets slightly less sun blasting on it. But still, even so, still having to keep adding the cocoa coir poles on it, even though I really wish I would have put it on a moss pole. But anyway, so that's the plan for this guy. When my sister comes in a couple of days, it's going to be like Christmas. And I'm not selling them to her. She just gets them. So what a good big sister. Okay, since we are in here still, riddle me this. How many clarinervium does one person need? Granted, it is one half of the great combo we know as the Delta Force, which is clarinervium and Pedata radiatum. Anyway, I have 5, and that's too many, and they're taking up room, and I can't care for them properly. So here is one from Canopy Plants. It's fairly newish. It's cute. I can't remember if I let it dry out, if it didn't like the cold, if I overwatered it. This leaf turned yellow and looked terrible, so I cut it, and then we have a new one coming out here. When my sister comes, I asked her, do you have a clarinervium? She said no. So she can pick which of these she likes. I actually, if I'm feeling super generous, what I might do is actually just combine these 2. I think that might be better. I mean, what am I going to do? First of all, I love buying plants. I'm sure there's something else I'm going to want, so I think I'm just going to give her these 2. We'll have her combine them, or I'll combine them for her. And then I have 2 little seedlings that I was basically experimenting with. One of them I put in semi-hydro, I put it in pond. The other one's just in my own chunky arid mix, and both are doing great. Then I have this big lovely one. This one I'm hanging on to. I love it. This is my favorite one. So 2 of them I can happily part with. So long, clarinervium. I'll see you when I visit my sister in San Diego. Okay, this next plant I feel really guilty about. This is Philodendron Mamei Silver. I never gave this plant a fair shot. It came and I remember feeling underwhelmed that it was so tiny. This is a crawling plant, so you can either put it in a rectangular planter, which is fine, but I have my Philodendron gloriosum in a big round planter, and I kind of like it like escaping the planter and trailing off. But I was going to try to see if I could actually train this vertically. So I was going to put it on a moss pole and experiment to see if I could get it to train vertically and have it grow nice, big, beautiful leaves and grow into the pole and grow its own root system. But I lost interest in it. We got some fungal issues happening here. What happened? It was in an area where there's not a lot of light, and I just don't think I gave it the same kind of attention I gave to some of the others, and it kept giving me sad little leaves that were coming out deformed and aborting. And then right here, these are fixing to be just some sad little crispy leaves. Right here. I don't think that is going to turn out to be normal. This has to go to a better home than mine. So there's a lot of people at work that are plant people, so I'm going to try them first. If not, Facebook. So I'm so sorry, little philodendron. I really just kind of did not do you the justice you deserved. I do feel bad about this one. Next, I'm going to give away Terrence the Regale. Just kidding. Terrence is my child that I've raised from a little seedling, and I would rather die than get rid of him. He's not going anywhere. And he's got a new leaf. Oh my god, he looks so good. Terrence is going to have to move out again into an even bigger house. He's just making me so proud. I feel like I'm never down here. That's because this is where all of the experimental alocasia live, including this cuprea that I put into, leca, and it just popped out this new beautiful leaf. So sometimes I get it right. I actually, specifically this one, I just left in the soil it came in, and it still has a new leaf coming out, but it looks nowhere near as beautiful as the other one. It's got some kind of crispy leaves here, so if you're on the fence about the leca for your alocasia, just go ahead and do it. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here because of this mess here, this monstrosity, this absolute horror here. This is got to go in the trash. This is a failed experiment that I grew from a corm, put into water to grow water roots, and then I was eventually going to put into pond. This one's actually okay. Actually going to put into pond or leca, and it just sort of started to decline. This looks like some kind of fungus issue, and I'm not even going to bother. We're done here. This is going in the trash. These are readily available. This is not an expensive plant. It's fine. I think that's it for the purge. I feel like some of these are going to go to better homes where they're going to be new and exciting plants and looked after properly. And I don't think there's anything wrong with getting rid of a plant that you don't love anymore. And if taking care of it seems like a chore to you and someone else is excited about it, why not? Like, pay it forward, sell it. And if it's got 1 foot into the grave and you don't feel like salvaging it and putting a lot of time and energy into it, that's okay too. You don't have to. Give yourself permission to let some of these plants go. In the meantime, I'm Erin. If you're still here, make sure to subscribe. Wishing you all the big leaf energy. Bye.